Hi guys, today is Friday, June 26th, and I just want to get on here and talk about Micron's earnings reports that came out on Wednesday and what they mean for the AI sector as well as the stock market. As they had a pretty massive beat here, and it's mostly good for the AI and tech sector here as you get into numbers a little bit, and the company's revenue more than quadrupled compared to the same time last year, which is great news. Massive confidence was juiced into a lot of these AI and tech stocks yesterday because of it, as the revenue was at 41.46 billion compared to the 34.52 billion expected by Wall Street and up from 9.3 billion in quarter 3 of 2025. Their earnings per share adjusted was at $25.11 compared to $20.20 expected by analysts. Their gross margin, which is huge, it is non-GAAP, so it's not too official, but it is hitting a staggering 84.9%. That is a huge margin, and it's up from 74.9% last quarter. So it just proves that they have crazy pricing power over there at Micron. That's great news for Micron. And along with this, they also had 18.3 billion of free cash flow, which is a vote of confidence for the stock because in volatile times like we're in right now, this allows them to protect themselves with interest rates going up most likely, or at least staying the same. They don't have to borrow as much money if they don't need to, and it's going to allow them to pay back some of the debt if they need to. It's really that's good news right there. Along with this, you had the AI memory super cycle that drove this whole massive beat here. It's Micron's high bandwidth memory HBM chips that are the gold standard. They're in high volume shipments for their lead customers' platforms, NVIDIA specifically, one of the biggest players in AI. This is great for Micron and all the other chip makers. And they're sampling with many other companies as well. And they've also signed strategic customer agreements that will make the future revenue of the company slightly more predictable and durable, which is, again, great news for the stock because in a volatile time like this with tech stocks, you've seen that those tech stocks pull back at the beginning of this week, and they're like slightly down a little bit today. Investors love to see that they're going to have like revenue targets that are predictable. You're going to be able to see this revenue. It makes investors more willing to put their money in these stocks because they feel like it's a little bit safer than it has been a little bit here. And it wasn't just the data centers that carried the weight here at Micron. Every single division at Micron saw eye-popping triple-digit year-over-year revenue spikes. That's great news for any AI company, and especially Micron. Cloud memory, 13.77 billion, up from 3.39 billion last year. Huge. Core data centers up at 11.52 billion, up from 1.53 billion last year. That's like almost 10 times. That's ridiculous. Mobile climate, 11.52 billion, up from 3.25 billion, and automotive and embedded is 4.63 billion, up from 1.13 billion last year. Crazy numbers for their revenue. That's great. This is giving a lot of other stocks too, and a lot of other investors a lot of hope that when some of these other companies report their earnings in the near future, that they're going to have some of these revenue numbers, and that could cause a massive boom again here, as a lot of investors had fears that the boom was cooling off, that we might see a little bit of a bubble here. And if companies keep hitting revenues like Micron did in this earnings report, then it won't be slowing down anytime soon, as Micron is expected to hit a mind-boggling quarter 4 revenue guidance of 50 billion, plus or minus $1 billion. That's pretty crazy. The earnings per share guidance here is $31 a share, and the gross margins are expected to get even higher at 86%. I mean, these are just ridiculous numbers. So before the report, you saw a massive 11% swing. The tech market was super anxious about this earnings report. They had so much riding on this in the tech market. But basically, like, if this was bad, it was going to get bad for AI and tech. If this was good, it was going to be really good for AI and tech. So anyone who's an investor in AI and tech stocks, especially yesterday, reaped the rewards of this good earnings report. So the Micron delivered exactly what bulls wanted, which was a proof that AI infrastructure build out is still accelerating at an unprecedented pace. It's ridiculous. And some analysts, I don't know if this is a little bit crazy here, but they're calling this a beginning of a historic memory supercycle that could extend through the end of the decade. I don't know if that's really necessarily the case here, but that is crazy. Micron also declared a quarterly dividend of 15 cents a share for anyone who was a shareholder as of July 6, 2026. So really good news for anyone in the AI sector here. As always, this is not financial advice, and be safe.